them in person, you see that they're really big, tall, and muscular, and you kind of know they're built for volleyball, for the sport.
They are the favorites, Thailand, both in the men's and women's division. But Singapore, medyo nabulaga nila in that first set. That's got to be a real confidence booster for them.
And of course, to us, like, oh, pwede palang diba? I mean, pwedeng panalunin. And syempre, to the Philippine team also, I'm sure they watch that game and looking ahead, syempre, just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case. We're all praying for that.
I'm sure the anticipation is very high for our men's team later on tonight. Fantastic performance that they put in against Cambodia. And I believe you had the benefit of calling that match.
It was really a good game for the Philippines. The adjustments were great. Yung tempo was there, and I think what they practiced was shown in that match, and it worked against Cambodia.
Shergill, lovely hit down the line. He did it all over the floor for Singapore in their last outing.
And easily just going for that off-the-block shot.
Service is much too strong. Freebie for Myanmar. And here's the captain, Ong Thu.
Another combination play from Singapore. They've been going to combination plays early on, and even in their previous match. And then you see a lot of combination.
Tight match in the early exchanges. 4 apiece here. Singapore level it. Attacking the libero. Against the double block, no problem.
That was against Shergill. Myanmar doing the same thing, an off-the-block hit for them.
It's an aspect of the game where Singapore somewhat struggled against Thailand and didn't manage too many blocks at all against the favorites. Shergill with an immediate response, combination play. Singapore deliver.
You know, this Myanmar squad is quite young. The oldest player nila is about 26 years old, and that's just about two players.
Singapore similar in that respect. I believe their oldest player is 21. Wow. Youthful side that they've put up. Impressive start so far for Myanmar.
Right, a check was called. So Chua gets the point. Still a close one here. Jing starting off really close.
You gotta keep a close eye on Chua. He was the second punch to Singapore. Shergill being the primary weapon. He's looking to get a touch on the block, didn't get it. Ended up firing that one well over. Chang Wei Wong, just 20 years of age. From the back row, well dug up.
No free ball now given to Myanmar. Oh, back row attack once again. This time works for them.
It's a lovely hit from the captain. Right down the middle. Going for the quick this time, mixing it up nicely, Singapore.
the first technical timeout. The
Decided
score is
into the first
8-7
technical
in favor
timeout.
of
Singapore up 8-7. Myanmar proving a tough test here early on in their debut in the Southeast Asian Games.
The first technical
Just a 1
timeout.
point in it. Singapore with a slight advantage in our first technical timeout. No surprise. Ajay Singh Shergill leading the way for the Singaporeans. Meanwhile, this man has been on fire to start things off. Ong Thu.
And they were able to run that play because of that easy serve given by Shergill. So easily, Myanmar going to Thu on this one.
Combination down the middle. Nabasa dun. It's leading backwards. Hit the net there. Shergill.
Still tried to go for that attack. Went into the net. But you like how active he is inside the court. He will just go for it each and every time.
It's a nice reception. Leads to that clean attack for Shergill.
Here he is again, and this time successful on that, the back row attack. No blockers.
Inexcusable para sa Myanmar.
Oh,
Hawi naman kagad.
so it's Thu and Shergill in this first set.
It's been a shootout between these two gentlemen. Nice little jump set. All the way over to the far side. Like that one. Head coach for Singapore. Nice save from Shergill.
Oh,
Found some room.
that's right. That ball was directed well. Tan was able to put it where nobody was home.
Myanmar, of course, did not play on opening day, so nagkaroon sila ng chance na medyo mabasa.
Oh.
Mas-scout yung mga kalaban.
But again, sila unscouted.
Yeah. So many question marks around this side.
Well, unless they played in other tournaments, that because I remembered on that first day, all the games, all the men's game, you will notice na alam mo hindi pa full blast yung line-up. So, a little bit of siguro may mga ano pa tinatago pa or testing each other out or yung parang may ganun pa in every game.
We saw in that Philippines match, perhaps a dami na surprise sa nagawa ni Retamar in that game. You have the likes of Polvorosa.
Yes, exactly. I was gonna say that you still have Ish. Si Ranan Abilia, hindi pa na pasok, hindi pa nakita. So, a lot of surprises to come.
Nakatago pang mga alas. Si Coach Dante Elin sunurin. What a set we're seeing here, Mosey, huh? Tit for tat so far. 12 apiece. couldn't save that one.
Ace. That's an ace for Ko.
First ace of the match.
And you notice we're using a new ball. It's a new FIDB ball. Sabi nila it's lighter daw eh. Well, it's not really lighter, pero yung feel, no? So, I guess may challenge pa with that, I'm sure.
And what effect
little bit.
might that have, Mosey, kung mas magaan yung bola? How will it change the game?
Well, it depends kasi kung sa men's game, I'm sure mas malalakas, di ba? Mas mapapalo nilang malakas. But, siyempre mga little changes lang naman yan. I'm sure it won't affect the players so much.
Nabigyan ng regalo dun.
This is becoming a close match, a close game. Hanggang palitan lang na score. There you go. We're tied up once again.
14 apiece, walang makalayo.
Oo. Walang naka-pull away.
Nice little decoy there. They went backwards instead to Shergill.
He really pounced that ball so hard, and even in spite of the two blockers in front of him, hindi na nga natin nakita kung saan dumaan yung bola sa bilis.
Running hit. Again,
My first day! Just moved in at the Olive Place Shaw. Come, see the view!
Got it. For those unfamiliar with the challenge rules, Mosey, how does this work? How many challenges do you get?
You get 3 challenges per set. If you're successful, it remains. But if you're unsuccessful, namamay na siya.
Overcooked by Shergill, and surprise, surprise, Myanmar with a lead here, late on, 18-17. Quick attack down the middle. Unable to save it, Myanmar.
We're tied once again for the end time, just in this first set.
It's gonna be that kind of game, Mosey.
I'm feeling it.
Individuals now starting to trickle in. The revamped Phil Sports Arena looks great.
Yeah, I was there last night. Really looks nice, and you know, you feel more comfortable. Seats are nice.
And the atmosphere.
Oh yes. Parang feeling mo, volleyball home na to.
Beautiful.
Pwede.
Combination works a treat for Singapore.
Again, it has been working for them from the get-go. They've been going for combination plays.
Jin Yuan Ang has been mixing it up nicely. The setter of Singapore.
The combination works too on the yellow side.
Unstoppable at the moment. There's a gap there in the block. Exploited it.
Oh, perfect height. Perfect connection right there.
Substitution for Singapore.
Unang substitution.
Literally
Number 2
the
out,
1-2
number
punch
6,
of
Fu Hao Rong
Singapore.
in.
Beautiful play. At ngayon, papasok si Fu. First change in the match. First time na blanco doon. Si Ong Tu.
You just like the energy of Singapore because as you mentioned, they're a young team. In fact, they have a 16-year-old in
Wow.
their squad.
Challenge on the call
They're,
by
they have an
Myanmar.
average
Net fault.
age of 19.5. So, teens, literally.
Unbelievable.
Oo.
What a great experience this is.
Exactly. For sure, a lot of takeaways, diba, in the SEA Games.
A quick look at the Myanmar coach, Kiao Swar Win. It seems there's another challenge that has taken place. Of course, they won their first video challenge. So they still have 3. It's a big point. Here, let's have a look. Oh, wow, the video challenge.
Oh, on that net violation.
Wow.
Okay, net touch nga naman talaga going down.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
Eyes
challenge
like a
was
hawk.
successful.
That's 2 challenges now that they've won. And it's 20 all. It's the man wearing number 20 as well who is serving.
Oh, great back set right there.
Just getting that one over. The better on the stretch. Oof, that was in.
Look at this his cross-court hit was just well placed.
Towered over the blockers there. Went for power.
Too much angle on that one.
Timeout, Myanmar.
There's gonna be a timeout for Myanmar. Down by 2 here in the crucial stages. Very close match we are seeing here. And you see the expression on his face. Okay, maglala. It's all right. We're still in the game. Just need to refocus his side here. It's in these moments na medyo matetest yung character ng koponan ng Myanmar.
Setter on the line. Oh!
Ooh, wow, what a time for a service error.
Crucial error there. Singapore needing only 3 more points to close this out. But giving Myanmar a freebie now. So they're just up by 1.
Sabagay, wala pa nakakalamang ng 3 points, Cozy. So, ibinalik niya muna and here we go. Back level pegging, 22 apiece.
Right on cue. Another deadlock.
You have to celebrate pag nablanko mo si Shergill.
Oh yes.
Nakabawi naman kaagad. Wow.
And right away going to another combination play, Shergill. Although basa na nung blockers, hindi na kumagat dun sa decoy. He actually watched out for Shergill, but his hit was just so powerful and well angled. He was able to get that point. He up by 1.
From the back row. Immediate response.
Ito na naman tong 2 players natin na kanina pa nagsasagutan. 2 this time from the back row.
There is a challenge on the call by Singapore. Foot
Oh, wow.
fault.
Foot fault. Let's see.
Set's almost over. Might as well use some of the challenges.
Right.
Shouting some instructions to his boys. Just 2 points. Here we see it. Nope. Well off the
Ladies
line.
and gentlemen, the challenge was unsuccessful.
As you've said, might as well use it.
Substitution for Myanmar. Number 5 out, number 14, Zo Win lying in.
Last minute substitution for Myanmar.
Service specialist, you'd have to presume. Zhao Win lying. Combination, nabasa dun. Second opportunity for Singapore. Blocked again.
2 blocks for Myanmar.
Wow.
Timeout, Singapore.
They are at set point now. Singapore naman ang nangangailangan ng timeout.
Those are really crucial blocks from Myanmar. And I mean, good mind read there for Myanmar. Why? Because yung unang hit came from Shergill, which I'm sure is the focus of their defense. But when he was blocked, they knew that the setter was going to give it to the other side. So they read that one well. That's why they were able to get that block point on the second hit.
So set point for the debutants. They erase the 2-point lead of Singapore. And Shergo will extend this set.
Substitution
He's not done yet for
for
this set.
Singapore. Number 18
So,
out,
but that was only
number
one blocker, so
13,
bad
Sha
decision there in the part of Myanmar.
Number 6 out, number 2, Ryan
First
Han
sighting
in.
of Wei Jie.
Substitution for Myanmar.
What a
Number
time to be
14 out, number
introduced
5,
into a set.
Ya Taik Wei in.
And Myanmar have made some changes of their own. Not the best reception for Myanmar. It's gonna go right back to them.
Oh, that was not a good decision to go for that offense. Hindi na gumalaw yung blockers ng Singapore, Jing. They knew they were, the setter was going to give it to the same hitter.
But luckily for Myanmar, lumabas yung bola. So timeout again for Singapore as they talk things over. They're in danger of letting this set slip away from them. While this set has been close for the most part, medyo Singapore ang may hawak ng kalamangan. 1 point, 2 points here. They were at 22-20 lamang sila bago nag-timeout ang Myanmar, and they were able to turn things around. And it's a second set point para sa kumpulan ng Myanmar.
Let's see how Singapore will play this one. Will they go to their number 1 guy or give it to someone else? Kasi kanina risk yun sa Myanmar. Buti nga you said lumabas yung bola. But syempre pag ganito, you really have to put yung mga plays na tinatago-tago mo, especially in closing out a set.
Wow, surprise, surprise. On their debut on the Southeast Asian Games stage. All through, sealing it for them as it takes set 1 against Singapore.
And you saw him. He was going to go for that check. You know? And he got the point, all right.
And that's how it finishes, 26-24 in set 1. Myanmar snatch it. We'll be right back with second set action. Fantastic game on our hands here. Extremely tight between Myanmar and Singapore. But the debutants able to sneak past the Singaporeans just by 2 points. It was an extended set. You see the spikes on the side of Singapore. Meanwhile, the blocking key for Myanmar. And they took advantage, of course, the opponent's errors are a real problem for Singapore in this one, as they committed 8 errors in that first set.
Actually, the blocks of Myanmar and the pushing of Singapore to commit more errors, I think, gave them that set. So Myanmar, especially towards the end, really showed us their character. Like, sila talaga, in spite of Singapore, I thought that Singapore was going to take that one, going towards the latter portion of that set. But Myanmar just held on and did their part in the last few plays, was able to get that first set.
You have to remember as well, yung coaching staff nila actually directly involved in an extra 2 points with those challenges.
Yes, exactly. Successful challenges. Siguro yan, ano, I mean, like, if, syempre, more or less, meron ka assistant coach that will just look for mga ganong instances, diba? May assigned siguro yan.
Matalas yung
And
mata.
this, I always parang see that the coaches will also ask the players if they'll go for the challenge.
Myanmar off to a great start here in the second. Same guy, same result.
And you can see him, it's just going for the check. When he hits the ball, so parang yung angle niya towards, just checking, going up eh. There's no snapping of the wrist.
Si Shergill, medyo na blanco siya at the end of that set in the crucial moments. He's gotten his first point here in the second. Went for the check again there. Mosey powered it into the block. From the back row. Didn't have enough power.
Back row too, but this time blocked by the youngsters of Singapore.
Before the second set started, we were talking about the frames of the two sides. Nakikita mo, mga teenagers nga to, mga Singaporean. They've yet to really fill out in their bodies.
While on the other side, they're pretty, older, although they're young also. But the average of about 23 years old, yung Myanmar. Still young also, pero older than the 19.5, obviously, of Singapore.
Grabe yung 16 years old. I wonder if we're going to get a chance to see him in action today. Well received. Nabasa yung hulog.
Another off the block point. It's been scoring a lot of the block points so far, even in the first set. So nahuhuli yung timing ng block ng Singapore. So they have to be mindful of their blocks.
They've limited those errors, Myanmar, but that one straight into the net. I believe Singapore had 2 service errors in the first set. Quick attack. Works a treat. He's feeling that. Do may need Ko.
Be quick on that one. Good connection. And expect them to go for more quick hits.
Back to back.
Myanmar really feeling it now.
He's got the momentum now. Ang ganda ng pagkasara. One fist pump was not enough there, Mosey.
Oh, but this time, Sure, Gil. Getting it through. Go.
So important for Singapore to get him going again.
Going for an angle and getting the check as well.
Well over. That one sails out. Singapore cut the lead down to 2.
Not enough wrist action on that open hit.
Combination, naiangat ng libero. Avoids the net touch. It's a free ball for Myanmar from the back row.
You like how they set that up because hindi na yung setter yung nag-set, but he gave a back set to the open hitter.
Confidence from Myanmar. They're up by 3 in the first technical timeout of the second set. Myanmar is starting to find their groove here in the second set.
End of the first technical timeout.
First set was extremely close. And now nakikita natin, tumataas na yung confidence. Itong Myanmar side, they're up by 3 at the moment. And so many things going right for them. He's been a big factor for them. Domei ni Ko, doing it both offense and defense. But it's a perfect response from the Singaporeans out of the break.
You just like the youngsters when they go for that kill, they go for that attack, and in spite of having tall blockers in front of them, you know that they're just young and they will just try to go for it. And I think that's their biggest advantage in this match.
Why with a lovely hit against the double block. Nakita niya yung butas.
Medyo malayo yung humahabol, yung middle hitter. Middle blocker.
It's a great reception given the circumstances, and they make the most of it.
And the middle hitter just scored one. Again, that 1-2 of Singapore, namely Ang and Tan. Oh, that's going to be out. Too much angle on that open hit.
It's going to be the first video challenge of this set.
There is a challenge on a call by Myanmar. Net fault.
Oh, wow. Net fault.
Remember, they already had 2 successful challenges in the first set.
Ganyan pa rin yung expression ng kanilang head coach. Para siyang parating nakangisi itong si Kiao Soarwin. Always seems pretty confident when he calls for a challenge. Everybody waiting in anticipation at the Phil Sports Arena.
Iba yung feeling, especially when you're there. Grabe yung anticipation on the challenge, on the result.
Tsaka may music pa.
Oo,
Parang
ganyan yung parang nakakakaba pa lalo.
Been a very competitive contest between these two sides. Glad you could join us here on SNA. Jingam Lang and Moji Ravenna bringing you Singapore versus Myanmar. Group A action. It's a must-win for Singapore.
Group A having only 3 countries, while Group B having 4, where the Philippines is grouped.
So really one win would be enough if there's one team without a victory.
So this is quite a crucial match for these 2 squads.
Ladies and gentlemen, the challenge was unsuccessful.
No net touch this time around. Singapore make it a 1-point game. They go right back to him. Different result.
With the kill, he's been trying to go cross-court even in the first set. Actually, may error din siya doon on the attack. Also, too much angle, but this time, error on the serve.
Freebie for Singapore. Second service error already for Myanmar in this set. Wow, what a dig. It's a free ball and Myanmar took full advantage.
Tuan getting that one to go. But Singapore was able to read that. There were 2 blockers in front of him. But Tuan being quite a tall player.
Off the block. They're going quick down the middle. Singapore replying with a similar approach. And now it's a free ball. Maud from the main man, Ong Tu.
Very hard to stop that one. That deserves a second look. Let's try to see this once again. Di nasa lahat ng blockers.
Bit of a joust there at the net. Myanmar with advantage here. Combination, Nabasa. And it's a solo block for Ko. I believe the libero hit the net.
Point goes to Myanmar.
There is a challenge on the call by Singapore. Foot fault.
Here comes the challenge. We're unsuccessful in the first. Corroborating with the players on the floor. Medyo nakakalayo dito ang Myanmar. Currently a 4-point advantage. Certainly don't want to go 2 sets behind here, Singapore against Myanmar.
And the first challenge of Singapore, unsuccessful sila. Baka baliktad naman this time. Let's see.
Tsaka yung unang challenge na medyo malayo.
Ano lang kasi towards the end of the set yun eh. Sabi mo nga sayang, which is true. I mean, we see that a lot.
Makasakali na lang siguro.
Oo, exactly. Lalo na pag medyo 2 points ahead. Like mga ganyan, 2, 3. And that's what the challenge is for anyway. Diba? Kind of helps you, diba? And dapat to your advantage siya eh.
Officials having a real close look at it.
Kulang na lang parang heartbeat yung ilagay.
Everybody watching with bated breath as to what will be the outcome. See all the players on the floor just finding ways to stay warm.
You know, last time, 23 of the team's 49 spikes came from Shergill. Kaya naman today, you can see that a lot of the sets go his way. That was the game against Thailand.
Ayun nga. And they won that first set 27-25, which I'm sure came as a shock to everybody in the volleyball community.
Or pwede rin na naging happy yung mga Filipinos. Ay, pwede pala beatable. Kaya, di ba?
And here it is.
Oh. Let us see. Ayun, lumagpas nga yung buong hand sa line. Pero yung ball, nasa na yung ball? Kailangan hindi pa naglalan. Oh, so...
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bit of confusion on
Kaya
the
nga,
call.
kasi no nakalagay.
Asking for clarification with the first official. And you can hear it very ever so slightly. Where was the ball is the question.
Hindi kasi natin alam kung galing na sa bounce yung ball na yun na nag-enter.
that point will be replayed.
So it was inconclusive. Point will be replayed. So it remains at 9-12.
Well, kind of successful on the part of Singapore, not giving that point to Myanmar.
Combination, well blocked.
That's well read by Myanmar. Not enough area where Singapore can actually put that ball in. Pwede siguro hulog lang or a push or placement shot.
So many service errors now for Myanmar. You wonder if this is going to come back to bite them. Lovely combination, and it's Tu who finishes it off.
Tu is almost always the tail end of the combination play. And Singapore knows that as well, but it's just so hard to stop this guy.
Straight into the net.
Once again, the youngsters, they have to rethink what to do on offense when you have two tall blockers at the middle. Wala kasi masyadong madaanan pag ganyan. So, easier to go for a push or a dump or, diba? Just look where the open spaces are. Even an off speed.
Able to stop the bleeding there. The captain, Zi Hao Tio. Keeping it at 4. And that's got to be painful.
At the
Nabawi
second
ka agad.
technical timeout, the score is
Lima na
16
ang
to
lamang
11.
dito ng Myanmar.
Myanmar still in the
That
lead.
takes us into the second technical timeout of this second set. So far, so good for Myanmar. Up by 5 here in the second.
End of the second technical timeout.
Starting to pull away here, Mosey. Medyo nakikita na natin yung discrepancy of the two sides.
That's right. Yung Singapore, parang feeling ko Myanmar was able to read their offense. That's why it's looking like Myanmar is
Substitution for
having an
Singapore.
easier time blocking
Number
them in the
18
second
out,
set.
number
So
4,
the adjustment
Mark
on the side of
Lee.
Myanmar was made. Although yung sa Singapore, parang hindi eh. No adjustment still. It's still the same offense, type of offense. Although a lot of combination plays worked in the first set, but a lot of those also went Shergill's way. So, yun din. So, yun yung adjustment na ginawa ng Myanmar.
Shergill being activated once more.
But you know, this guy, Shergill, he's not only good on offense, he's also great in defense because he's number 2 in their digs last time out, where he had about 6 digs and 18 receptions, team high of 18 receptions. So, yun, pareho offense and defense. That's why sometimes also, when that happens, it wears out the player. So, factor din yun. Although some are, you know, conditioning-wise, some are ready for for that. Pero sa men's game kasi ang bibigat ng digs and receptions also. And yun especially sa blocking, yung habulan sa blocking, yun talagang nakakapagod.
He's been able to keep his momentum going, Shergill, but he's getting help from Chua now, which is crucial for them. Yan ang napakasakit para sa Singapore.
Giving another freebie to Myanmar. And when you see the demeanor of Myanmar now, you can see that they're very calm. Para bang, okay, this is, they got their rhythm, got their tempo.
Shergill was blocked, but it goes out.
Ong with a single block. Not able to close that out and put it inside Singapore's court.
Napakasakit. Shergill naman ngayon, ang culprit.
Another service error. I think they're trying to go hard on their serves para mahirapan naman yung reception ng Myanmar.
What a pancake there to keep it alive for Myanmar. But Singapore nonetheless able to get the point through Chua. Look at that.
Because Singapore in their previous game against Thailand had better digs and more receptions. Yung parang 31 to 40, medyo malayo. So, you know that they have good floor defense. It's just translating into offense. Yun yung parang nagiging questionable so far in this match. Sayang, because diba, they can actually use that to run their plays.
He's off the block. Singapore are starting to reignite themselves here. Still a 4-point game. They're rediscovering their fluidity in attack. Shergill able to save it. Is into the net. Second serving, not good enough. And Myanmar breached the 20-point mark.
And you know what happened to Myanmar is that now other players are chipping in, you know, also scoring. Hindi na lang si Tu. Kanina si Tu on the first set, mostly his score. Pero this time, a lot of players also giving out hits and attacks.
Singapore looking to take a page out of that book. It's Chua who converts.
And Chua was the second top scorer in the game against Thailand. So yun din, kailangan Shergill will need his help, but they throw away another serve.
Wow.
Just when a little bit of momentum was going their way, they throw away another serve.
And you see the substitute gesturing. 4 na yung natapon nila in this second set.
There you go. Great connection.
That's got to be a confidence booster.
Lee getting this one to go. Naiwasan yung isang blocker. That's why there was only one. And Lee managed to get that point.
A source of celebration for Singapore. Just a 3-point game. Combination.
So making sure that they don't get, Singapore doesn't get any momentum as he scores this one
Timeout, Singapore.
in between two Singaporeans.
At napakaganda ng pagkabenta ng combination. One blocker, not enough to deny Thu. And it's a timeout now for Singapore. And what are you telling your players here, Mosey, if you're Dennis Lee Janzen?
You know, they just have to, the energy should always be there because they're younger, you know, that really brought them, I think, to that good, winning that first set against Thailand. But also, siguro to minimize their errors because those are really crucial errors because unforced sila, diba? You give lamang na nga yung Myanmar and then you still help them out by giving away easy points. So that's really not going to help you, especially in a match na mukha namang okay yung match-up eh.
At yung lamang dito ng Myanmar, 4 lamang. And it's been 4 service errors
Correct.
that have really hurt
Yes.
this Singapore team.
Oh! Sure, Gil. Did that hit someone's face?
I think it was
or
Ong
chest?
Thu.
Let's take a look at this once again. Oh, it's a chest, but that was actually still a good ball. But the point goes to Singapore.
Kept alive. Oof. That's going to be tough for the libero.
Oh, but nevertheless, play goes on.
And look at that. What a point for Singapore.
That's right, Singapore getting it in spite of the libero really going for that last and for that third ball, and they get paid by getting get rewarded by getting that point.
Wow, what a response though from Ong Thu.
Yung Singapore kasi it's really their energy that's carrying them in this match. Pero Ong Thu, ano lang eh, talagang papatay sunog as they say. He will not let Singapore get any of it. Again, getting a kill, another kill for Myanmar, but Singapore answers back. Shua.
It's going to be an exciting finish to the second set. Myanmar looked like they were going to run away with it.
And we had this kind of score in the first set, but when we thought that
Yes.
Singapore was going to get that one, ito
right.
naman reverse. Let's see how this goes.
Yun lang. Ong Thu, again, with the same celebration. It's almost as if you can't touch me, guys. Set point for Myanmar. It's a great serve. Ong Thu.
Oh, that was Agapuel. Oh, but an error on the second ball.
And just like that, Myanmar taking a 2-set advantage.
Myanmar takes set number
At the
2,
Phil Sports Arena.
25-21. They lead this
We
match
had very little idea what to
none.
expect from Myanmar in this match. Now they've made it very clear they are going to be contenders in this Southeast Asian Games. And they're on the verge. They can snatch it in straight sets. We will see if they're able to do that. Don't go anywhere. We've got third set action just around the corner. Myanmar on a roll at the Phil Sports Arena, taking set 2, 25-21. They banked on 18 spikes, and they...
But that's just about it, Jing, di ba? Just the spikes, because look at the blocks, pantay.
Right.
Aces, parehong wala. Even the errors are the same. So it was just about the offense of Myanmar. So it doesn't say, di ba, obviously we saw that second set, it looked like Myanmar dominated that second set.
Right.
But when you look at the statistics, it was just on offense, and it was just, 3 more kills for them. So, it did not say, di ba, what happened to the, when you look at the game, parang hindi siya the same as the stats. So, sa stats kasi, it looked really close.
Yep, that's right.
Diba?
Very small margin, but when you look at the demeanor on the court, parang napaka-confident ng
Diba?
Myanmar all throughout.
Oh, that's right. It's as if they're always pushing the right buttons. Tapos, on the other side naman, it looked like very erroneous because they had already four unforced errors in survey. So, but they only had 5 errors, so meaning to say they just had 1. Siguro yung last na pag-set ni Shergill. So, diba, pag inisip mo, oh, close pala siya, diba? Really close.
Doon mo nakikita rin yung inexperience ng Singapore. It is a very young side. 19.5 is the average of this squad. And to start off the third, nagkabanggaan sila, and Shergill unable to convert there, so it's 2 unanswered points right away here for Myanmar.
So this is what Singapore cannot lose, no? Their energy, because I think they get their good game from the energy that they put out there. So they cannot lose that.
Presumably, yung pa naman yung advantage nila with the youth, the energy that they can bring to the match.
And you can see that they will just go at it, even if they have taller blockers, they will just hit the ball, challenge the blockers.
A look of concern on the faces of the Singaporeans at the moment. Off the block.
There you go.
Yan ang kailangan nila to get Shergill up and running once more.
Game face, all game face for Shergill from the get-go. Once again, easily. Parang wala ngang approach much eh, di ba? Halos parang nag-double jump lang, then just got that point once again. Blue is dominating this match.
He's not even celebrating anymore, Mosey. That's kind of a scary thing. It's become a formality for Ong Tu.
The confidence is just oozing.
Again, a nice conversion from Myanmar.
That's right. Why this time? Again, getting that off the block point.
Powerful serve there. Had a response to Shergill. Lead swells to 4.
So the confidence of Myanmar now translating to their game. Everyone pitching in their own way, whether it's defense or offense.
Nice little combination. And that one, no touch from the block. Back-to-back points for Singapore. They struggle to find momentum. All alone there down the middle. Shergill put a lot of power in that one. It's a free ball for Singapore.
Oh, but that was read. That quick play was read well. Ko getting that solid block.
At nakakarami na rin siya ng mga kill block.
Actually, no second set siya yung medyo nag-level up. He's able to help out too in the scoring and even in blocking.
It's great anticipation there, just one-handed. Wow, the power.
Shergill just leading the way here. Alam mo na yung focus ng defense nasa kanya na, and yet, you know, yung confidence in the center nila to give it to him na kaya niya. And so far, so good for him.
Again, another off the block for Myanmar. It's become a regular occurrence for them.
Technical timeout as scores
Confidence
84.
oozing
Myanmar
on the side of Myanmar, and they're up by 4 in the first technical timeout. Myanmar in control in this third set.
End of the
They
first
took sets
technical
first
timeout.
of 1 and 2, and now they're looking to wrap things up here against Singapore. And so far, they started with a real purpose here, up by 4. And Singapore, meanwhile, looking to find their bearings once more. Nice reception from their main man, Shergill. That one's going to be very close to the net. The struggles continue for the Singaporeans.
Well, let's take a look at this. It's really close to the net. But Myanmar was just too ready for that one. Naging opensa pa para sa kanila. Not even went for a joust, diba? Ganun, yung kumpiyansa talaga tumaas eh. After the first set.
Can't afford to be overconfident though against the Singaporeans. That one,
True.
a service error. Off the chest of Shergill. Nice blocking shown by the Singaporeans. Shergill did well to get to the ball, but it's out of play.
That was just too much for Shergill.
Kung kanina, wala tayong nakikitang ngiti mula sa mga players ng Myanmar. It's becoming
Baliktad
more of a
na
thing.
actually.
Yep.
Diba, no first set, you can see Singapore enjoying the game. But now, all game face for Singapore, while yung Myanmar, you can see them smiling.
They're enjoying themselves now. And certainly hindi natin nakikita yung first game jitters nila sa Southeast Asian Games.
Let's take a look at this last play. Singapore getting that point. And ito yung energy na sabi nga natin, they have to sustain, you know. It's talagang, kumbaga, advantage na Singapore. Yung pagkalikot nila sa loob ng court.
They have been drained a little bit of that energy here.
And continue with their good floor defense so they can actually run plays because they have good hitters.
They're in danger of letting this one slip. They did well to keep it close.
Here you go, another combination play that really worked for them, especially in the first set.
Uh-oh. Bit of a problem though. Nag-pull up dun si Shergill after that hit. Landed hard on his left leg. I hope that he's okay.
You feel the effort on his face, no? The effort of Shergill in this match.
He's trying to carry his side. It's a bad reception, taken advantage of by Tu.
You know, Singapore has to be mindful of those receptions or digs that are close to the net.
Timeout, Singapore.
Kasi ang lalaki nga ng Myanmar, so they usually most often get the point on a joust.
Nakakaramdam na dito si Dennis Lee Jansen. Tumawag ng timeout in the third set. Lead is 6 already for Myanmar. If he doesn't see a reaction soon, this game could slip away. Here it is. Singapore trying to make a last stand. They were so close to claiming the first set, Mosey. And now it's just all gone awry for them. They're being helped here. Into the net.
Tama ka no? Parang sabi mo kanina, yung worrying that Myanmar cannot relax. Diba? Ito pero parang medyo nare-relax sila eh. Cannot be too overconfident.
And they find Ko, who's been a steady source of points for them. Myanmar able to keep it alive. They can set up here.
Free ball. See how Myanmar capitalizes on this one.
Looks like it went over.
No touch at all. Ayun na yung sinasabi mo, wag kumpiyansa.
5 na lang. Dumadami yung mga errors dito ng Myanmar. Combination works a treat for them.
Why getting another point? And ito yung naging problem ng Singapore, I think. No? Kasi a lot of players already were chipping in from the side of Myanmar. Kanina, 2 lang halos in the first set. So it was easier for them when talking about net defense and even their floor defense. Pero nung second set, meron na siyang Ko, may Y, diba? Toon also pitched in. So medyo naging mas mahirap. Everybody was a threat now on the side of Myanmar.
And now a bit of variety from Singapore. Chua. Nice drop ball there. Something we haven't seen enough of from Singapore. Again, frustration for Ong.
Throwing that ball once again. Not enough spin.
Free ball. Sherga from the back row. I think he overcooked it.
At the second technical timeout, the score
Off we go into the second technical timeout. Myanmar up by 5, 16-11. Myanmar
End of the second
starting to put
technical
themselves in
timeout.
cruise control here at the Phil Sports Arena, up by 5 at the moment against Singapore.
Well, definitely the winner of this match would be number 2
Oh,
in their pool. So, parang automatic semis.
Substitution
does
for
it matter if
Singapore,
you do it in
number 2
straight
out,
sets,
number
or is it just
13,
wins and
Xiao
losses
Wei
mostly?
Jie.
Parang wins and losses lang because again, tatlo lang sila. Tatlo lang dun sa pool nila, pool A, Thailand being the other one.
Right. Thailand, of course, getting an opening day win. Went 4 sets against Singapore.
Yeah, and plus Singapore already lost to them.
Yep.
So Singapore will end up with
There is a
0-2
challenge on the call by Myanmar. Ball
the end
in,
of
ball
if
out.
they lose this one.
So effectively, that would knock them out of the tournament. And meanwhile, Myanmar will go through, but we'll still have a match against Thailand to play. Things a little bit more complicated in Group B, where there are 4 teams. Of course, Philippines, perhaps with a win today, could really boost their chances of making it through to the next round. And they're up against a Vietnam side that struggled against Indonesia.
And obviously the best scenario there if they beat Vietnam and Indonesia and go up against
Ladies and
Myanmar in
gentlemen,
the
the challenge
semifinal.
was successful.
Oh, syempre we're all kind of hoping for that.
You want to avoid Thailand for as long as possible. Thailand's strong in multiple disciplines. It's the same scenario in the team sport of football. You want to avoid Thailand at all costs. Ong Tu. Medyo tahimik siya dito sa third set.
And even giving out that not so powerful hit, but again, placed it where, directed it where nobody was there. Cross-court hit.
Looked like he wasn't happy with the placement of that set either. Six-point lead.
Timeout, Singapore.
Dennis Lee Jansen calling for a timeout once more. He's trying to change his demeanor a little bit. Trying to uplift some downtrodden faces para dito sa Singapore. The end looming for Singapore if they don't make amends very quickly.
This is the right time for them to catch up if they want to stay on in this match.
Panahon na para sa last stand dito for the Singaporeans, down by 7 in the third set. You look back at the first set and think, what could have been for
Right.
Singapore? They were up in that one 23-21, I believe.
That was a good play from Singapore. Yun ang siguro yung adjustments they made in that last time out. And it worked well for them. Only one blocker. Kasi yan ang kailangan nilang gawin to avoid the blockers of Myanmar. Hindi nga pwede yung... ang hirap nila to have mga net encounters Kasi more often, Myanmar wins it. But this time, Singapore on that solid block.
Here we go. Singapore able to string together a pair of points. Looks like they're coming alive here. Ong Tu denied. It's been a rare occurrence for Singapore.
Oh, but that was not a good second ball to give to your hitter.
That hurts. Lead back up to 6, and Myanmar at the 20-point mark. Cross-court hit. Oh no. player down for Myanmar, and it's their main man, Ong Tu. He's in some significant pain here, clutching his right ankle.
Oh no.
Oh, actually, it's not Ong Tu. No, it
Oh,
is.
it
Number
is.
20, Ong
Yeah.
Tu. Here, let's take a look. Goes up for the block.
Oh, landed on the foot of Theo.
Ouch. Never good. When you see that, you know he's turned his ankle. And from the way he's reacted, Mosey, it looks bad.
Something we really don't like happening, you know, to any player of any country.
Still grimacing in pain. Ong Tu, the captain for Myanmar. And not only that, he's been the source of majority of their points.
That's right.
Number
Let's
14
see how this
Zol
plays out.
Win
But
Lang, coming in for number 20.
You see there, almost on the verge of tears. The captain, see how Teddy Teo.
Substitution
Oh,
for
yeah.
Singapore. Number
feeling
7
really bad
out,
about
number
that.
17, Jordan Ryan Wong in.
And you know they're young boys. You just know.
Has played a part here in the injury to Thu. Obviously not intentional.
Yeah, kasi parehong nasa line naman yung foot nila eh. I mean, it wasn't like pumasok todo
Oo.
yung foot dun sa other side. Ah,
What a dampener for Myanmar.
that's right. Towards the end pa naman, you know what and then Singapore was trying to play catch up.
Shergo's hit, dug up. Touched at the net. Back set, back row attack. Myanmar.
Just too much power, even if Singapore, as we mentioned, had a good floor defense against Thailand, but this time some of the players of Myanmar just so powerful.
San Yut Mang. Turns out he wasn't the server. Shergo just looking to plug away. Continues to find his points for Singapore.
Still not giving up in spite of 3 blockers, challenged them and got it through.
Lovely execution from Myanmar.
Ong getting another point. This time from the back row. In between 2 blockers.
Struggled a little bit when he was at the net. It looks like yung back row.
Mas comfortable siya sa back row. Had a lot of attack errors.
Substitution for Singapore. Number 4
down to
out,
6.
number 6, Fu Hao Rong in. Number 13 out, number 2, Ryan Tan in.
A couple of changes for Singapore. Go down the middle through Ko. Shergill almost able to score.
Oh, but just enough for Shergill to get that early Christmas present from Myanmar.
Maraming salamat. Shergill finding his groove here in the third.
Pwede pa to if Singapore play their cards well.
Again from the back row. Ong converting. Guilty of hitting it over when he was close at the net. This
So
time,
mas comfortable siya, no, if there's distance, diba, from the net. So I guess parang clear, yung may mga ganun players na kasi clearer view of the opponent's court. And also
There
the
he is.
blockers. Oh, syempre.
medyo nakakuha na siya ng momentum. So went close to the net as well.
Well, that's good for Myanmar because nawala nga si Tu.
Oo.
So that's good na siya naman yung nag-step up towards the end of this third set.
Match point now for Myanmar.
Oh, Sergil drilling that one in. Ang ganda naman nung play na yun.
It's a long road back for Singapore, but they've made a dent here.
Nevertheless, you know, this young man really fought well today against sabi nga natin, parang unscouted, well, natin, no, na Myanmar team.
At the end of this match,
There
Myanmar
it
wins
is.
in straight sets.
Match point
26
sealed by
to
Ko.
24, 25 to 21, and 25 to
Again,
18.
with a Be Quick ends this match.
Myanmar putting in a thoroughly impressive performance against the young Singaporeans. They've announced their arrival in the Southeast Asian stage in quite some fashion. Straight sets victory against a Singapore side that was able to take a set away from Thailand. Sign of respect as well as they travel over to the bench. It has not come without a price though. Myanmar losing their best player at the death. He's still on the floor as well.
I hope he really recovers. Time for their game against Thailand.
And there you have it. The match finishes 26 to 24, 25 to 21, and 25 to 18. We'll be right back to wrap this game up. the semifinals already, Mosey.
That is right, Jing. And it was exciting because we didn't know how they were going to play. And we knew that